Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
It's a great day to make a difference. I'm Lisa C. I'm doing a spotlight segment shining the light on people who are changing the game in their industry or in the lives of those they serve. This episode is showcasing noteworthy women entrepreneurs and the moves they're making. Today, my guest is Somalia Brown. Somalia trains women to become World ChangeHers, HERS, and DisruptHers, HERS, by empowering them to dismantle the old ways of doing things in life and in their relationship with God. Welcome to the show, Somalia.
Thank you so much, Lisa. It is a pleasure and such an honor to be on your show.
Absolutely. I have the same sentiments. So tell me about the work you do and who you're changing the game for.
I actually am as you said, I'm a spiritual pusher. I see greatness in women and some men. I do draw some men, but mainly women who have such a great potential, but they're afraid of greatness. So what I do is I pull out the greatness in them and I help them to no longer be afraid of walking in their superpower as a woman and the greatness that's locked up inside of them. So basically I unlock them so that they can literally fly with no chains through the sky.
I love it. So what challenges do these women tend to have that you help?
The number one challenge that my women have that I help is mindset. They are so powerful. They're extremely talented, yet they've have words in their mind that's been spoken to them from young. They've been muted since young. They've had a thumb on them since young. And then the age old, you're a woman, so we can only do so much. All of that included with their own insecurities. Their number one challenge is their mind. They can't get past their mind. So that hinders them from maneuvering in the superpower that they actually have, which is their greatness.
And you help unlock their mind. Is that correct?
Absolutely. That is my number one gift.
I love it. So what mistake do you find that these women make as they're trying to step into this greatness?
Same thing. Their mind trips them up. Their mind says, you can't do that. Their mind suggests, who are you? Who's going to listen to you? Why should you? Look at your past. And their number one issue with that is they believe it. And my number one challenge is to get them to no longer believe that and believe you are powerful. You can speak. You can sing. Someone needs to hear your story. Someone knows that you can set them free. There's someone out there that literally is waiting on your voice.
And how do you go about helping them in this journey?
So that's the gift that I believe the Lord above has given to me. I'll just listen to someone talk and I can hear the insecurities through a conversation. I can hear the doubt through a conversation. I can feel the rejection or the hurt through one word. They can be positive the entire time and then one word will slip out and I'll be like, we need to deal with that right there. Where did that start? Who told you that? Who told you couldn't do that? Who said that X, Y, and Z was your issue and why are you still carrying that? So I'm able to hear their thoughts as they speak it and it's normal language for them. So they're oblivious. And when I say it, they're like, wow, I said that. One of my clients, I actually had her just talk. It was a 3-hour session and she just talked and talked. And I pulled out sound bites that she was saying, like, because I'm here, you're saved. You're okay. Another time she was telling a story and she goes, I'm powerful. So trust me, I can help you. Another time she said something else. And I literally wrote those down. And at the end of it, in the recap, I restated those. And she goes, wow, those are powerful. I said, you said that. She was like, did? I go, yeah, when you were actually in your role, when you were actually retelling the story, those words came out when you were walking in your greatness. It's when you go back to being you outside of that role, you started to shrink. And she was amazed. She was just like, I thought you came up with that. I was like, no, ma'am, those were your words verbatim.
Nice. And how do you go about helping these changers and disruptors? Is this a group setting, coaching, community? How do you help them?
So yes, I have a couple of ways. What I do is I have an Arise community of women who are disruptors and dismantlers. That's what we call ourselves. Where within that group, it's a community within a community. I do have a mindset program that I take people under my wing for 4 weeks. And I sit with them. I help them understand their weaknesses, their targeted weaknesses. I help them to understand their mind, where they're at. I help them to plan out what they want to see and how they want to see it. And we do that for 4 weeks. And then we reassess where we are to see if they need to keep going with me or if 4 weeks is enough. Usually 4 weeks is enough, but some still like to stay because they're not comfortable. But I'm the coach that I like to push you out the nest. I'm that bird that's like, go, you need to go, because I'll become a crutch and I don't want that. So that's one avenue. I have, I do one-on-ones here and there. I do offer that. It's a VIP day, which is a 3-hour sit down intensive, which is what I was just discussing with the young lady, a 3-hour intensive where I give you a questionnaire beforehand. So you really do all the work beforehand. And then when you get in there, we hit the ground running because I've already gotten your questions. I've already prayed over them. I've already sought the Lord. I already know the direction we're going. So as soon as we hit go on the clock, we're already in. We don't have to get in and I don't have to hear your story, hear what you went through. So that one's an intensive where you come away, and that one is quarterly because you don't need me it's 3 hours of intense work. So that's the other one. And then you can always catch me on Instagram Live, giving freebies, having little snippets. Clubhouse, I have a prayer room every morning at 5 a.m. that people are able to log into, that they're able to get nuggets from there. And then I have a room every Tuesday on Clubhouse, also for the strong woman, giving them balance, helping them understand, the yin and the yang of being a superhuman, a superwoman, someone who has the strength, but also the balance to know when to be soft and gentle, but also know when to dig her heels in and go for it all.
Love
so those
it.
are some of those.
Tell me the days and times and the names of your rooms on Clubhouse again.
So I have on Clubhouse every day. It's 5 a.m. That one is called Your Words Are Too Expensive. Call forth, Your Words Are Too Expensive.
And that's Eastern, correct?
Yes, 5 a.m. Eastern. Call forth your blessings. Your words are too expensive. Then I have another one on Tuesdays that is called Strong Women Come Through. And that is at 8 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday. And then I have one on Saturdays at 11. It's called The Crown, the Ring, and the Passion, knowing which one comes first. And that one is about, that is where I usually put on my relationship hat. And we talk about the crown is your purpose in God. That's your crown that you wear. The ring is your married, but single women are always welcome because I just tell them, grab a notepad, take notes, put it on the shelf. These are proactive tips that you can actually pray, because I did it while I was single. So I also help singles. And then the passion is your kids, your master's degree, your bachelor's degree, your PhD, your dissertation, trying to climb up to be a VP or CEO, whatever else is your passion. You've got to know the order and operate in decency in order for everything to flow. You got to know when to take off your boss hat and put on your wife hat. You got to know when to honor your kids and put on mommy hat while still being wife. And that's a struggle for a lot of women, is the balance between the two. And I just tell them, you got to know which moment is calling you. Whichever moment is calling you, that's the hat you put on.
I love it. And what inspired you to go in this direction and change the game for women in this way?
Honestly, I've always been this way, unknowingly and unbeknownst to me. As an athlete, as an ex-athlete, I ran track and played soccer since I was 2. I had a soccer ball at my foot since I was 2. My brother played soccer, so I followed him. I don't even remember learning the skill. That's how young I was when I learned how to play. Then I started running track maybe in middle school just because I was quick on the field. They was like, why don't you try track? But what I started to notice was, and it bothered me then because I was young and I didn't understand my gift. We would be losing in soccer and I'd be on the bench I was a starter. I was always a starter. I never not started. But, soccer is a 90-minute all-out sprint. So
Right.
I would get rest and then they would catch up. And then when I got back on the field, it's like the level of game just raised. And I would get mad because I'm like, why don't y'all do this when I'm not here? Why do you wait for me to get on the field to do this? And I would fuss because my dad was my coach, but he wouldn't say anything. Then later on in life, I would fuss at my college coach, but they would never say anything. Even in college, I ran track for 4 years and I lost a lot of my agility because track is very straight up and down and soccer is very agile. I lost it, but I did my 5th year at LSU and I did soccer. And when I walked on, I had to go back to the basics. I'm just giving this testimony. I had to go back to the basics. I had to learn how to kick the ball again, but I received the scholarship because I had the speed still and I was able to pick it back up. Even then, when I was less than who I really was in soccer, I could run circles around people with a soccer ball with my eyes closed. I didn't have that anymore. And I would get on the soccer field and the entire game would just level up. He was the one who said, why he said it. My last coach said, why do you wait for Somalia to get on the field to be better, to dig deep? And then I asked him, I said, what is it? He goes, you influence change. And I never knew that. He said, your presence, it raises the game. It makes others want to do better. And he's like, that's just a natural thing you have. Not everybody has that. So I've always had it. It wasn't until I found my niche of helping women, and it was prophesied over me that I would help women. I would take women all around the world. I would speak over women and break chains, bondage off of women. But of course, when you get a word, it's so huge that you can't even understand it in small pieces, no matter how hard you try.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until women would latch on to me for dear life. When I say latch on, they would literally, hey, can you help me? Sure. And I'd help them for like a couple of months, just friends or coworkers. And then next thing I know, they're like a handbag. Like they have become my wallet. And I would literally have to pry myself away. But as long as I was there, they were doing great. If I backed up, it's like they would fall. So either they fed off of me, but they fed off of me where I became a crutch and I had to learn to be like, okay, I got to cut it at a certain time. So my mentorship, one of my mentees literally just told me today, I said, because she's a dance teacher and she would do dance on live, but she would never talk to them. I said, so I'm going to challenge you. I want you to go on live on IG at least twice a week. And I want you to talk, get from behind the scenes of dancing because you're comfortable there and talk. And when she did it, now she's on a roll. And I was like, look at you. Awesome. She goes, well, fire begets fire. And that hit me. She's like, it trickles from the head. You're on fire. And that flows to me and us. So I thought that was actually today. I thought that was amazing that I don't see myself that way. I operate on a level of confidence, but I never realized that just my presence until my coach told me. And that by then I was at least 21. And then I looked back through my entire life and saw that.
That's humility though.
Amen.
Yeah. So that's awesome too. What would you say to a woman who believes in herself? She believes she's a ChangHer or a disruptor or a dismantler, but isn't quite sure what that looks like. What would you say to a woman that has those gifts inside of them,
but they don't know what it looks like?
Mm-hmm.
I would tell them to look at their life, literally sit down and go through their entire life. And what came easy to you? What came easy to you for others? Because I think that's what people like, kind of like what you just said to me. That's humility. I never saw it. Someone has to point it out. But what I like to do is go back through your lifestyle because we have patterns. So I would tell them, go back through your life and look at what you've done for people and how you've elevated someone else, how you've pushed someone else, even if you didn't push yourself in that same area or that same vein, but how you made someone else great. That's where you start. How did you, so basically serving, mm-hmm. Where you are serving for others, that's your superpower. When you grab a hold of that naturally, that's your superpower. So I'm a natural leader, quiet leader. So what my other coaches would do, or my other managers, as I grew into an adult, they would try to pull the vocal leader out of me because I was a natural, quiet leader. I led by example. So that was the uncomfortable part. So I would tell them to go back to what you naturally do and then change it to where you're uncomfortable. And that's where you'll grow. That's where you'll fly.
That's a great nugget. Who do you change the game for?
I changed the game for World ChangHers. Women who have identity issues, women who don't understand their power, they're powerless, they step on their greatness and they shrink in the face of adversity. That's who I changed the game for. That's who I help pull out greatness for.
Wonderful. So how do you do that?
So with my Arise Women community, when you join, you can either join on two levels. You can join as an accountability partner, where we just hold you accountable to your goals, your drives, and some of the things that you may get on our 5 a.m. calls. But if you join on the mentee side and you actually become a mentee to the Arise Women community, I pour into you in a group small setting by pulling out what's in you. So we're not enhancing anything. We're putting the mirror in your face and literally showing you you are powerful, you are mighty, you have a God-given purpose, your voice is powerful, you are powerful, and how to do it. So I give you instructions, direction, and actionable steps to follow to pull out the greatness. I don't pull you. I literally push you to your greatness.
Wow. We got to unpack that a bit. Okay. So what is it that you offer? You offer some programs, some coaching programs. Talk to me about, the different services and programs you offer.
So within the community, we have the small group. So it's a mindset group where you literally have 4 weeks to dive in. It's an accelerated course. You come in with the goal. We dive into that goal. And each week we dissect it, give you homework, and then you come back for more the next week. Then I do have a VIP session that it could be a one-on-one. It's a 3-hour, 1-day intensive where, of course, you have questions beforehand, questions that are digging deep into your past, deep into your hurts. You're going to sit through some of the trauma that you may have been through, because many of my clients, many of the world changers right now that are walking around, they're wounded. They're wounded women. They're damaged women. They don't know it, though. They don't understand it. And when they come to me or the Arise Women, what we do is we show them the mirror and we put them back together collectively, myself and the client. When they get put back together in the VIP session, they answer these questions, 15 minutes or so, and we jump in on their session by dissecting, digging, going back, coming forward, question after question. By the time we're done with a 3-hour session, they are completely free. They always say, wow, I didn't even realize that I was carrying that. I didn't even realize that victim mentality was my portion. I didn't understand that my backpack of rock climbing up this hill, why I felt so heavy, was because it was from when I was 6 or 7. They don't understand that they're carrying a load that does not belong to them and it's not serving them. Some of them do, and they don't know how to offload it. So either we show you what it is and we help you offload it, or we just help you offload it. We also have a 5 a.m. prayer room that has just now been moved to 3 a.m. on Clubhouse, where the women are able to come in. And we do have some men that come in because it is open, but the women come in and they literally soak in the word. They literally soak in God's presence. And we all know, if you are a God-fearing person or woman, anytime you're in God's anointing, you're going to be transformed. So we always get instructions, divine orders, divine directions, directives, and we put that into play until we get the next set. So they're constantly doing something. So it's either the VIP day if you want a one-on-one. It's the Arise Women on the accountability side, where you're just like, you know what, I'm not ready to dive in just yet. So let me get my feet wet and see how you can hold me accountable. Then when they realize, oh, I need more, they'll upgrade to the mentee side, and then they can do the mindset. Or they have a group of women. We have a group of women that also on WhatsApp, we hold each other accountable. That WhatsApp is going off all day long. If someone pops in there and says, hey, I'm having a bad day, you've got 40, 50 different women hopping on you. What do you need? Here's prayer. Here's this. Why don't you pray this? Don't you remember this? Don't you remember? So you're never alone. The misconception of being a world changer or a game changer is you got to do it by yourself. But Jordan didn't do it by himself. He couldn't have done it without his key players, his role players. Kobe couldn't have done it by himself. You cannot be a game changer by yourself. So what the Arise community does is help you understand you need a community to undergird you, to lift your arms up when you get tired, because you will get tired. I'm not going to say if, I'm going to say when, because being an innovator, being a trailblazer, it requires a lot of work. You're not walking through a path that's already made. You're making a path as you're walking. You are building in one hand and you are fighting and chopping down to make the roadway on the other side. So it's a lot of work.
Let me jump in, because that is a bunch to unpack. So, wow. How does a woman identify if she is a world changer?
You don't fit in. You don't fit in anywhere. School, you're different. Church, you're different. You're the oddball in the family. You're the black sheep of the family. You're the glue in the family. You're the one that naturally people listen to you. Your gifts that you don't know about, but if you come to the Arise community, we will spot it like that, because we're all the same. You're the glue. Your family unravels unless you're the one in the center putting things together, or you're the one that has to do the dirty work because everybody listens to you. Oh, but they listen to you. It's how you say it. You're the friend that everyone wants to be like you. They copied you down to you have an outfit on and your best friend has the same outfit. That's how you know you're a world changer. You're an innovator by nature. It's natural. You're a silent leader. You may be vocal, but most of us are silent leaders and we love being in the back. Wow. And that's not where you belong. That's not who you are.
And so what challenges does this world changer woman struggle with that you can help her with?
So the struggle is, number one, her voice. You step on your voice, you think your voice is not powerful, and you think no one needs to hear what you have to say. But on the contrary, your voice is powerful. It shakes heaven. It literally has a frequency that this earth needs, and you don't use it. That's number one. They don't understand that their voice is powerful, because they're the same woman that when they were younger, they were said women are seen and not heard. They're the same woman that says children are seen but not heard. No one wants to hear what you have to say. Be quiet. That's the woman that has the voice from young that's been needed to be exploded on the earth, and the time is now. That's the first thing. The second thing is you carry a lot of offense because you are not the norm. You're not the norm. You've never been the norm. Like I said before, you don't fit in. So when you try to fit in, that's when people like you, but you know it's not who you are, and you're uncomfortable in your own skin because you know there's something else. 2, 3, you go to church. If you don't go to church, you go to work. If you're not at work, you're in school, and you're like, got to be something greater in this world. I know I'm not on this earth to just go to school, go to church, go to work, come home, be a wife, be a mother, take care of these kids, go to sleep and wake up and do it all over. You question the reality of your life. Like, is this all there is to life? And what we do is we come behind and we show you that there is. The Arise women show you that your voice is so needed that when you join us, we have women who joined us within a month, and they have a group of women that are already following them because they opened their mouth. We have a group of women who've launched their business that they've been sitting on, a prophetic word that was given to them 20 years ago, that's been sitting on the shelf because they didn't know that it was in them. They had the power to birth it out, bring it to the forefront, and then run with it. 1 month, and it's up and running. We have women who call themselves the unmute coach, yet they were muted. And now that they've been unmuted, because now they have a voice, now they go in a Clubhouse. You know, if you know anything about Clubhouse, the Clubhouse streets, as soon as if you have value, if you add value in Clubhouse rooms, any room you go into, you're being pinged up and you're a moderator. Before Arise Women, they were not as much. Now, as soon as they go into the room, hey, you have a word. I hear it. I see it. Come up here. And they just open their mouth. They're no longer shrinking. They're literally, okay, God, if she wants me up there, I'm going to just open my mouth. And when I asked them, so the old you would have, oh, I wouldn't even went in the room. Or, oh, I would have went in the room and would have ignored and been like, they don't want to hear what so-and-so has to say. Why would I even answer that? Why are they picking me? Who am I? They don't say that anymore. It's the change in the inner critic of your voice and your mind. We shift that from you are not worth. Nobody wants to hear your voice. Your voice is not good to it's time to hear my voice. It's time to see me roar.
So that's number one. Is that correct?
No, that was all of them mixed into one.
Oh, okay.
That
All
was
mixed
your
into
voice.
one. Yes.
Yes, that was your voice. That was knowing you don't fit in. And that was also understanding that there's more to what you do day to day. Some people, if you literally walk through the world and you meet someone and you say, don't you think there's more to life than this? They're like, no, I'm good. Some people are really okay with waking up, getting the kids ready, getting them off to school, kissing the hubby, going to work, coming back home, doing dinner, and they're good. World changers, that's not enough because we know we're meant for more. We know we're meant to do more. So that's number 3.
That's amazing. So let's shift for a second because there's a lot of power in you that's able to bring out all those aspects in these world changer women. So what makes you get out of the bed in the morning and do what you do?
One, it's my mandate. I was placed on this earth to literally do 3 things. Pull greatness out of women, bring the warrior woman out of her. And then my third is literally, which is morphing into all of it, is to prevent deaths in dreams and goals. That's my job. So in the morning when I wake up as an elite athlete, I know my goals. I know my job. I know my role on this earth. See, an athlete's mentality is what's my role? As a track person, my role on the 200 is just me. But when it comes to collective points, I'm a part of the whole. So I need to get second or third or first to make sure my points are up there enough to add to the total. But I'm still an individual. That's the same with my walk now. I wake up because I am just one part, but I can touch a 20-year-old that has 20 years, my younger than me, that has 20 more years to be on fire. She's going to touch 20 times more than I can in the next 20, 30 years. But then I can touch another 35-year-old that can literally get on fire and touch 1 million people like that. Because some of us are meant to touch millions, some of us are regional, some of us are state, some of us are town. But whichever we are, there's always one person that touches them. So what gets me up in the morning is knowing that I have another person to reach. I have another person to touch. I have another person that I can ignite, set a fire. Fire begets fire. That's our tagline. Come experience the all experience, so that fire begets fire. We're the fire, and we're imparting our fire into you, which is pushing you. Fire just gets you going. I don't really have to once you catch my fire, like you said, the power that you feel, once you catch my fire, you're gone. You're running with it.
When we were speaking before the interview, there was a name that people call you, the spiritual, what was it?
PushHer?
PushHer, yes. You are a spiritual pusher. I love that. And so what makes you different, Somalia, from everyone else?
I have to attribute it to, of course, God. He's my center. He's my source. I have a very, very distinct relationship with him. So that's that's what draws people, because I can't draw anyone. We all know that when you exalt him, he draws man unto you, which then in turn draws them to him. So that's the number one thing. But I am different because I bring my athletic mentality to the gospel, to the walk, to the Christian walk. You know what I mean? So when I signed up for a war for souls. I signed up for my part in the whole thing. My part is to make sure I awaken a warrior, a woman into a warrior. So every day, that is my goal. Who can I touch? How can I get this woman to be on fire? What do I need to remind her? How can I help shift her mindset? So what gets me and makes me separate is my drive. When I hit a wall, my when a wall appears in front of me, I'm like, who told you can be there? Where did you come from and why are you here? Because you don't belong here. Most people's mentality is, oh, I hit a wall. Maybe I'm not supposed to go, or maybe I can go around it. No, I'm busting through the wall.
Jericho.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So as women are listening to this, and they're trying to identify, is this for me? What would you say to someone?
If you are listening to me right now and there's a fire that's brewing in you, I'm talking to you, period. You know everything that I've said. You cannot dismiss what I just said. I have labeled you. I have called you to a T. And even if I didn't call you to a T, you're still listening. So something's intriguing you. I'm talking to you. But if none of those are talking to you and you're ready to stop shrinking, because you know you're shrinking, you get a job opportunity that you've been praying for, asking for. And then when they say, hey, you should apply, you're like, no, it's okay. You're shrinking. I'm talking to you. If you are praying and your kids are unruly or your marriage is a little and you've been praying for years and nothing has happened, you're powerless in your prayers, I'm talking to you. You are ready to see change. I, through the power of God in my life in the Arise Woman community, can help you get change like this. All it takes is knowing the right prayers, knowing that you are powerful and turning that mirror from this way to this way. I can help you do that. The group can help you do that. God, more importantly, can help you, but you got to know how to do it. That's who I'm talking to. The woman who is tired, sick and tired of your life, check to check, sick and tired of men, if you're single, the wrong men daring to approach you like, who says I want a married man? Why do I keep attracting the same man, but in a different suit? That's who I'm talking to. I'm talking to that woman who knows she deserves better, more, abundance, peace, love, joy, and you're getting mediocre. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to the woman who is sitting on her couch right now listening to this, and you are like, why can't I get ahead? Every time I take 10 steps forward and I think everything is going good, I get knocked back 30 steps and I can't pick myself back up. I'm talking to you. That's who I'm talking to. And if these words are registering and it's piercing your heart and you're just like, I know I'm a world changer, but I don't even know where to start. I know that I influence my friends. They listen to me. I'm the go-to person, but you don't have no one above you. You need this community. Because if you are the smartest person in the room, we've heard that. We've seen it. We've read it. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're done. You can't grow anymore. You need a company of women that can literally help you on all sides. When you get weary, and you notice I never say if, because we do get weary. When you get tired, when you get faint, there is somebody in the community that's going to say, no, ma'am, we don't faint here. No, ma'am, we don't shrink. See, there's a lot of people in your ear right now that you allow in your ear that feed when you want to faint. Oh, but you've tried so hard. It's okay to, no. See, we don't do that. That's not our portion. And that's in you because you're still listening and you're still watching. I'm talking to you. You cannot deny that the words that I'm saying has rung so loud in your ear and it's pierced your heart that you're just like, I need to find that group. That's who I'm talking to. We don't have to sell it. Our group is by word of mouth because the women that come on every time, and if you just want to try us, find us at Somalia B on Clubhouse. It's every morning at 3 a.m. Eastern. Try us for 3 days. I challenge every new person that comes on every morning. Try us for 3 days. Your life will change. And I can guarantee it. You know why? Because it's not me, it's God. We follow and we are led strictly by God. And whatever he says do, we do.
Somalia, why is being part of the solution today important to you?
That's a loaded question. So it's important to me to be a part of the solution today because as an ex-athlete, that is our core. As an elite athlete, running track, playing soccer for a prestigious college, that's what we did. That's who we are. So I would say if I ever had the opportunity that these young kids have today to stand up, use my platform, use my sports in this way, I would have absolutely been the face of forefront for injustice, racial injustice, regular injustice, whatever is going on in the world, as all these divine disruptions that we had in 2020, the virus, I would have. And I love that there's an initiative that's actually being started to help these young athletes, current athletes, step into their leadership, because I know some programs do it, some don't. I was very blessed and favored enough to enter into a program who zoned in on leadership. Our sport came second sometimes to our leadership and the character within. So the new project is perfect. It's an opportunity for ex-athletes or anyone who has a heart for an athlete to pour back into them, to help them understand that you are living in an opportunity in a time where not just your sport is paying for your school, but it's also giving you leverage to be heard as a young adult. And that is priceless. So the way that I support now is partnering with the Business Athlete Challenge. And I feel like that's going to help me stay connected to my roots as an athlete, former, present, lifetime athlete.
You heard it. You all heard it right there from the spiritual pusher. She will help you unlock your greatness. And Somalia, thank you so much for the interview. How can, or should I say, where can people find you on Clubhouse? And I'll include the information in the show notes, but if you just want to name the rooms and the times.
Absolutely. So we have the Call Forth, Your Words Are Too Expensive. That's our 3 a.m. Eastern time every day. Then I have Strong Women Come Through, which is on Tuesdays at 8:25. It kind of goes in between those. Then I have The Crown, The Ring, and The Passion, which is knowing which one comes first. That is a room for married women and single women, because you come in and you take notes because it's a seed. And we teach you, I have a counterpart, we teach you to know what comes first and to honor the moment in front of you. So those are the 3 rooms that I currently have on Clubhouse. My handle is at Somalia B. My Clubhouse is World ChangHers. And we did just launch our Clubhouse, Arise Woman, but it's just AW as of right now. You can also find me on Instagram at I am Somalia Brown. You can find me or email me at info@Somalia Brown. If there's any other interest, you can always email my assistant at Somalia Brown. Then I do have a website, which is being relaunched, but by the time you guys watch this, you'll be able to check it out. It's somaliabrown.com.
Excellent. Well, in closing, as I always say, remember, be a game changer. The world has enough players.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.